There are just so many kits now that I feel like I forget half of them even exist, especially the older ones. So I really want to make an effort to try and revisit some of these and use them more often. It literally feels like I'm shopping my own game of things that I already own but just don't really think about anymore. And one of the earliest kits was the Decor To The Max pack, and this was kind of like a maximalist style furniture pack. It has some kind of wacky stuff in it, like some really funky furniture. This has zebra print on it. And because of that, I've always kind of found this stuff hard to use. It's just not really my personal style, so I don't really gravitate towards it. There are a couple of things that I like a lot. For example, this painting. It's got a couple of really nice wallpapers as well. I guess I just don't really think that maximalist is my vibe, so I don't think I'm very good at making stuff like this, but I want to give it a try. I'm picturing a sort of small house. I want to have a wraparound porch. I don't want there to be a ton of space on the inside because I want it to be kind of cozy in there. I set out to build this on a really tiny lot, which might have been a mistake because it is so small. I am kind of obsessed with that porch though. Okay, so this is kind of what I was picturing for the generic shape on the exterior. Before I get too ahead of myself, I want to try and roof this real quick just so I know it doesn't look bad. This whole time I had sort of envisioned it looking kind of like this, and then I thought that this part would be nice to have like a little fake balcony or something. I'll probably use base game fences just because then it's a little bit easier to download. I am kind of nervous about the roof over here because it's hard to make things fit when you've got these weird diagonals. I am a little bit worried that we're gonna end up having some issues with clipping on the inside because of this roof, but we'll see what happens. If you have ever tried to use a rounded roof at all in this game, you'll know what I'm talking about. They have way more of a clipping issue than any other roof type, and it happens in the weirdest ways. Like as soon as you build a wall, if there's like a room in the wrong place, then it starts clipping. Normally with other roof types, it only clips if there's like open parts of the flooring, like holes or something, but these octagon roofs will clip no matter what. They are really good about that. Okay, I think that this is maybe the best that I can do on this house. It's just such a small lot and I made the roof so big, but this will be nice. Now I want to start thinking about the floor plan and then we can come back to the windows. I know there's going to be a front door like right here. I don't think that we can put the staircase next to the front door like I normally would, unless we wanted to tuck it away kind of like that, because that does give you enough space to have an archway right here of some sort. I'm just trying to think. So like this could potentially become the living room. We could do like fireplace over there. It's okay if it's weirdly shaped. I think that's kind of the vibes. Maybe this becomes a bathroom. And then we have a kind of funky formal dining room back here. There could be like a bar built in somehow. The kitchen could totally go right here and we could even have a kitchen island. It does make for a lot of hallway, which is maybe not good, but I don't think that's terrible. That's what I mean, look! Oh my god, why? If I do it like this, will that not happen? Oh. How does that make any sense? So it's the wall being here that causes it? Isn't that just so weird? The only problem with this upstairs is that the rooms are really, really small. Like the staircase being laid out the way that it is probably a bad thing, but I guess we can have a nice long hallway. This becomes the primary bedroom, I guess, even though I don't know if it's gonna fit in there. Can this be extended outward? No, because the thing still clips. Why does it clip? What happens if you make it smaller? That kind of like messes up with how it's shaped, doesn't it? Okay. What? Now it's clipping again? It was fine before. Oh, that's why it was like this. Sorry about the panicking, everybody. I'm just kind of scared and I really don't like how this is looking, but we'll figure it out. It's gonna be fine. There is flooring from Decor To The Max, so we can use both of those in bathrooms maybe. I'm almost tempted to try and use it to make like a fake carpet of some sort, but it does scare me. And it's okay if the bedrooms are super small, right? Oh no, wait a minute. The windows are not gonna work in this front part. I have to think about this real quick. Here I've been talking this whole time about this being like a fake balcony or something, and then I have a wall straight through the middle of it. I mean, maybe it's just 2 bedrooms. We got 1, 2. This is an extra bathroom, and then this is like an upstairs office space in the landing. I think I'll be using Strangerville like all around this place on the outside because that's appropriately fancy, I think. I do think the whole house looks really pretty from the front, so there's that at least. I'm getting some nice big windows all around this tower. And originally I wasn't gonna keep this front door, but I actually don't hate it. Admittedly, it was kind of there as like a placeholder in the beginning, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not obsessed with this back wall though. I don't really know what to put there. I don't really know what to do with this part either, because I want to have windows that look okay from inside the kitchen. I wonder if we could have like a bigger door. I know it's weird to have the small door as the front and the big door in the back, but I don't know, maybe we could have like a big double door to go to the backyard. I guess we could do French doors too, because that makes a bit more sense. I closed this off and now this is clipping the roof again, but I think that's okay because I'd rather have a flat wall right here. I'm actually quite curious about something like this little window. I know it's kind of weird, but maybe it's weird in like a fun Decor To The Max type of way. Maybe it's good, I don't know. All right, now the fun begins because we actually have to try and furnish this place. I think once we pick the color of the sofa, that'll kind of bring everything all together. The only problem is that I don't like any of them. Yeah, this is really the struggle that I have had with this pack in the past, where it's just hard for me to mix and match patterns to this degree. Because I love the potential here, but I just think that in practice, it's so much. Like everything is just so much. I think that these three together, I mean, they're different shades of gold, but these three together might be okay. We can get a little chair in the corner. Yeah, even with this, it's like some of it is so chaotic and some of it isn't. Maybe that could go on this wall. I'll get a column. You know what? This is not that bad. Like this might actually be okay if we tried to get some accent colors. This curtain is from the Modern Luxe kit. And I think that that actually is a really good starting point because that helps to get some more color and like break up the pattern on the walls. We do have a frame TV also from the Modern Luxe kit. And I think that that might be good for this. And then maybe if there was like a bookshelf next to the fireplace. I don't know if this comes in gold. Of course, it's like a different color of gold. Because why would it match? That would just make too much sense, right? I do kind of like that pattern. Maybe if we got like a big fluffy rug. I don't really like it in white, but the fluffy texture I think kind of works. See, I don't want to use this. I don't like half of these items. There's a reason I don't use this pack. I really just struggle to like this pack. I wonder if this is okay if it's kind of tucked behind the sofa. It's slightly in the way, but that's cool because it looks like a ceiling light even though it's a lamp. Okay, it would be lovely to have another window like right here maybe just to have some extra light inside of this dining room. Okay, they kind of have this interesting paneling. I think that unfortunately only works in some places. I'd love to use it, but there's just something off about it. We also need a bar. I don't really know how fancy it should be. This one's quite simple. Just the regular base game one is probably fine too. Oh, deleted the whole house. But like regular base game bar and then some cozy bistro kit, wine bottles up above it. Maybe this could be mirrored. I'm picturing like the mirror backsplash behind that. I don't know, that's kind of interesting. Okay, this does not want to slot there correctly. That kind of covers the whole window in the front. I don't even know if these can be all placed because they're gonna start clipping, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Decor To The Max unfortunately does not have any dining room furniture. It has specifically like living room furniture and that's it. I'm kind of looking right now for chairs that have gold accents. So I'm really tempted by these. I've been using a lot of the Modern Luxe kit in here too. Can't really decide if the table should be a square or if we should get a rectangle. I guess it depends what kind of rug we managed to fit. This is again a fuzzy rug, but this one's from Snowy Escape. I hate to say it, but I actually think that's kind of perfect for this. It's got like the right amount of slight pattern. I might try and get something more colorful in the chairs. Oh, like these are a bit brighter. Let's try that. I know it's like not that different, but let's try that. Maybe if there was some sort of little cabinet. Oh, how about this wine bottle? Never mind, that's clipping. I wanted to get like some sort of cabinet, like one of these, but maybe a bit more traditional because I'd love to have sort of a display like that. I think it also adds in some more wood color, which we need. I like this plant, but it's too hard to fit in the corner. I need something a little bit skinnier maybe? Or should we get something weird like this? I don't really like that one. I'm also all of a sudden using way too many kits. We've got like so much happening inside of this house. I am on a serious mission right now to honestly try to use every single thing from this pack. I really like this giraffe. That like genuinely I like that a lot. I think it's pretty cool. A little bit of clutter on that table will go a long way. We don't have any clutter in here yet, but I'm gonna have to come back to it because I'm trying to figure out spacing still. I'm thinking I'll use a relatively simple kitchen counter, like these Home Chef Hustle ones, and then we'll pick kind of a fun tile as the backsplash. I'm curious to see what works with this because this is high school years tile. It kind of fits, like it actually kind of looks good. And then I'm kind of wondering if we can make pink appliances work. This is new to me. I have not really tried this before. I'm not really sure if it even looks okay, but it's kind of fun. It's like a little bit weird, maybe in a good way. Wait, look, the new coffee maker from the Bistro kit totally matches this. I didn't really expect it to. I'm looking through basically every single inch of clutter that can be added into this house. I'm really looking to go all out with the clutter in this house, especially in the kitchen, I think. I want it to feel like someone actually lives here. What happened to my window? Did I delete it by accident? I do kind of hate how the sink's not centered, but there's not that much that you can do about that with how these windows are placed. I'm moving back into the living room now for a second because I want to try and get a couple more clutter pieces around here. For example, I have not actually decorated this at all, so every little bit will count. I've got some mail by the front door. We'll put things like keys and maybe a plant on this little table. I've been putting books like literally everywhere in my builds recently as filler for clutter. I mean, I've always done that, but I feel like recently I just keep adding bookshelves like right here and right here, right here, but it's just nice. The bookshelf works really well for this purpose. Can I put that in the bright gold? Ugh, ugly, 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 ugly. Leave it in silver. Looks better that way. Maybe they have diplomas because that's kind of cute on the wall. I'm trying to decide where else we can put some of these things. Like, what does a person even do with this peacock? That's a genuine, honest question because I don't know the answer to it. I'll put it somewhere. I just don't know where it works. Trying to get a little bit more clutter inside of that bookshelf just so it looks a bit more full. And then I'm thinking over here, I'm not really sure what's best. One of my original ideas was to put a game table in this little corner. Then it becomes like the same as what we have over there because it's just a small table, but this does make it kind of samey with the dining room. I guess I could just do 2 chairs even, but then you can play cards over here. And I think that's always a fun, functional sort of item for your Sims to have more things to do. And I guess this house is kind of screaming entertainer. Like there's so much stuff in here that's useful for entertaining. We have the bar, we got all this nice setup. Oh, wait a minute. Let's swap out that bookshelf with the record player. Stop, that's like 10 times better. And maybe I could get a cute mirror above it or something, because they do come in some kind of funky versions. Like I normally wouldn't go for that, but maybe we could try it. I think that's the whole downstairs done except for the bathroom. This tile is so weird together, but I think it's so weird in like the best way possible. I would never normally put these two things together, but for some reason I think it looks really good in here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm gonna try it. We also have a lot of really nice gold accents, which I'm definitely gonna use. Okay, this is what I've got for the bathroom so far. I think that's the whole downstairs complete. I'm gonna do, I think, the same in the bathroom upstairs just because I like it so much. And I think that's good because it gives me opportunity to use a different flooring in the bedroom. I realize these curtains are not gonna do anything, okay? But just pretend that they're like a shade that you can pull down. How about that? So upstairs, I really wanted this to become an office. I am extremely tempted to try and use this absolute nightmare of a wallpaper. I don't know if I can. It might be better to have this in like one of the bedrooms or something. Maybe I'll do something simpler up here, because if we do it simple, then we can use the rug. And this is barely simple, okay? Simple is a strong word for this, but it's simpler, right? And then we have these really nice new curtains. Actually, this little corner might be a good spot for this weird little peacock thing. I don't know, I just can't do it. I can't use it. I don't know how to put it and have it be giant like this. This desk comes in gold. Oh my God, what about this really bizarre fuzzy chair? I don't think I've ever used that. Perhaps if I put the peacock sized up on the desk, I would like it better. Okay, I added some simple things and some clutter into this room, plus an easel so your Sims can paint. I realized that this room divider kinda makes no sense. Like practically, it's not the most logical thing to have just up against the wall, but I'm trying to think of ways to use every item, so I kinda wanna try it there. My other option is to use this, and I just can't. I don't like it. I really don't like it. So in my mind, this is a kid's room. I don't really know how it's gonna go. I'm tempted to use some of the colors that we haven't really yet, like this blue and yellow. Oh, that's more pattern. Maybe, is that what I want? I feel like we need big stuff, like big nightstands, big dressers, just big pieces of furniture to help break up the wall. If I'm able, I would kind of like to have some sort of drawing table. I could maybe put some little crafts above it so it looks like the kid made them. I wonder if these curtains come in blue, because if so, oh, it's kind of blue and yellow even. Okay, this is too busy. I think it needs a frame because like the solid color block helps to break apart the wall being so busy. If it fits, we could maybe even try this rug because it's sort of long and skinny. And if it comes in blue, that might help with the flooring too. Doesn't really come in the right blue. Maybe a darker one's good. And I think that this kid could also probably benefit from a bookshelf. It could even be like one of the kids' room bookshelves. It does have quite a bit of color, like maybe more than I would like, but it also helps to break it up. I just went to Manage Worlds by accident. I hit a hotkey on my keyboard. Well, it looks cute for Manage Worlds. I think that's pretty good. I like this kid's room. And that just leaves us with the primary bedroom and then the entire rest of the exterior to finish. I think we should do a different wallpaper because I want to have a wallpaper in this room, but I don't think we should use the others because I've already used them in the rest of the house. So I think it's weird to like double up. I am kind of obsessed with this bed and I think that it's nice because it brings in some more pattern and we can always pair it with like a darker wallpaper that kind of matches. Whoever these people are that live here, they have so many fuzzy rugs. Like their entire house is just fuzzy, fluffy rugs everywhere. You know, when I first built this, I thought it would be a way tighter squeeze in this bedroom. I sort of figured it would be way worse trying to fit it together, but this is actually not that bad. I probably shouldn't speak too soon, but I do think that it might still fit okay. Oh, we should put a vanity. I like how this one is gold. I do not like how it's see-through. Do you think they can fit in between this space? Oh, I don't want to put it in front of the window. Maybe it's not that bad. Some of this furniture is so ugly. This thing I never use. This is from Vintage Glamour. I want to get a full-length mirror too. I know it's not ideal to have it across from the bed, but I think it's fine. I think it looks okay. Now I'm kind of thinking about putting a couple little things of jewelry on this table. I really like the idea of a jewelry box on this. Maybe like a jewelry box and then some flowers. And I think that might be the whole interior done. We definitely did a lot more than I normally do in terms of like color and pattern and stuff, but I quite like how it turned out. We have to now go through and figure out the rest of the outside. I'm kind of thinking that it maybe is good if it's just hello? Okay, the cat doesn't like the pink. I think that maybe it would be good if it was mostly white outside. She, I think, agreed just then, as you maybe heard. I think my current plan is to make it mostly white with the green roof. And then I figure we'll add accent mostly through plants on the outside. I would love to have gold accents out here, like the gold lights by the doors. I think we could also benefit from some like little trellises and little bits of decor like that on the outside. I put one here on the patio. Don't get mad at me, okay? But I am gonna put a chess table out here. I know I put them everywhere, but it's so useful to have a chess table. I think I'll also get a nice grill on the back. I don't really like that though. Ooh, maybe I'll do plants. I'm gonna think about the patio after I do the rest of the landscaping. I'm kind of obsessed with these cats and dogs trees recently. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. This lot is extremely small, so I can't decide if it's worth closing off the fence or not, because sometimes I just leave this whole wall open, but maybe it's probably for the best to have a little bit more privacy. I'm gonna get a swing set in the backyard. Unfortunately, I don't think we can put too much else. We'll do like swings and a little bit of landscaping. I think that romantic garden stuff is maybe the best possibility for this. I think I just really like all the different colors that are mixed in with the romantic garden stuff flowers. This is kind of like a purple and blue color scheme together. And I don't know, I think I just feel like that really works for a build like this. I never, ever, ever, ever use these tall bushes. I think there's a reason for it and it's because I don't like them. Okay, I think that the landscaping might be done now with all of that placed. I do have to get a mailbox. So I'll put this right here. We don't have a trash can yet, and I didn't put a trash can inside either. I was planning on only having a trash can outside, which maybe is bad, I don't know. I do that a lot, where I just don't give them an interior trash can. It doesn't bother me in my gameplay, but I apologize apologize if it bothers you, because it is a little bit annoying to not have access to one. I think I'm gonna put a couple plants on the porch next to this door, and I'll do the same thing in the back too. We do have a lot of pretty purple things, and I can maybe get some little blue flowers. I'm okay if they're just duplicated on the front and the back. I think it helps to have something else there. And maybe I will get a grill again, because we could just do a small one and kind of tuck it away in the corner. You know what? I feel pretty good about this little house. This is cool. Last, we'll just go in and add a little bit of extra terrain paint, and then I might get a couple of extra lights outside, because this helps bring in some more of that gold that I wanted it to have. So we can just get a little bit of outdoor lighting and kind of surround the rest of it with it. That should help it at nighttime. Yeah, it lights it up so nicely. Okay, I think the house is done. So quick tour, we've got a really big downstairs. To be honest, I felt like it was small at first, but now that we furnished it, I think it works pretty well. There's a huge wraparound porch when you first walk up, so you enter in this way. We've got a little tiny entryway, nice big living room with a fireplace and a frame TV. There's a games table. Around the side, we have a nice big kitchen. We've got a little bathroom downstairs and then like a formal dining room. When you come upstairs, we've got a big hallway with like an office space upstairs, a second bathroom, and then 2 bedrooms. There's one blue and yellow kids room and then one kind of fancy primary bedroom. And that is the fully finished product. I feel like my goal with this was to try to rediscover some items from the Decor To The Max kit. Obviously, we used a lot of packs, like every pack. However, I also used almost everything from this kit, and I remembered that I really like these wallpapers. There's some really nice swatches on them. They're kind of intimidating to use things like a tiger wallpaper, but it looks really good when you use it. This piece of art is beautiful. I kind of forgot it was there. And you know what? I never ever use this couch, and I feel like I've kind of rediscovered a couple of these swatches. I don't like the animal print ones very much, but like this color with the light gold and the pretty pastel, I might use that more often now, and I kind of forgot it was there. So mission accomplished. We got a pretty house. We revisited some of the pack. I'm gonna upload it to the gallery in case you want to download it, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any other kits that you want to see me kind of like revisit now that it's been a few years since they came out. I feel like the little campers kit might be kind of an interesting one, and it would be a totally different vibe from what this is. And if you liked this video, I do build content and other Sims gameplay like this every day here on YouTube, and I also live stream pretty much every day on Twitch playing The Sims. So I'll link my Twitch channel down below, and make sure you're subscribed to me here on YouTube. And with that, I'm gonna go, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. Romantic garden stuff honestly is so underrated. The flowers in that pack are beautiful.